I'm Brenda. Welcome back to my quilt room. Well, it's February already, and I'm really excited to show you the second in a series of Block of the Month that we're going to be doing this year. This might just be the fastest block I have ever made in my life. So, if you'll look behind me at this scrappy quilt that I made, it is a variation of an old quilt block called the rail fence. And what the rail fence looks like is this. It's just a series of strips put together, and then they're joined in opposite direction. Now, when you make a whole bunch of these and you set them all together, if you're using the same color scheme, it will look zigzaggy all the way through the pattern. And you can do a search on that in Google and see lots of different images for the rail fence pattern. So it's very easy. It's nothing hard. We're going to do a block together in real time and show you just how fast this comes together. So this scrappy one, I tried to make a dent in my scrap collection. And this is so easy and quick to sew together. It may or may not be your cup of tea, but if you're trying to make a dent in your scrap collection, this could be a quilt for you. It's simply the strips sewed together, and then I adjoined them using sashing. Now, back to the quilt that we're doing for this month. I know we're all pushed for time, and everybody's got a busy life, and you may need to just want to carve out a little bit of time so that you can sew. And I'm going to show you how fast this one little block can come together. So we're going to do that in real time. I have selected a couple of scraps, and these are all 2 inches by 6.5 inches out of my scrap bin. And you will pick 4 of 4 different colors. And so you'll just sew them together with 1/4 inch. And then pick up and do your next 2. You'll sew them together in pairs, just like we did the first block in January. You're going to sew your 4 strips together. You could just chain piece like I'm doing here. We're just going to sew them together in pairs. And then you'll sew your pairs together to form a block. So that's 3 blocks. This is the 4th one. And I'm just chain piecing. Chain piecing is just stitching one set of blocks or strips together right behind the other one without stopping and cutting in between. I tried to think about where my love of all things scrappy came from. And as I've mentioned before, if you stay to the end of my videos, I put up a picture of my 2 grandmothers that I learned how to sew from. Now, my grandmother that lived in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky would buy a box of scraps from a company in Cincinnati called Polly Flinders. And they made little dresses for little girls years ago. I had an aunt and a great aunt that both worked at that company. And they would sell boxes of the leftover scraps from making those dresses. And it was very inexpensive, just $1 or a couple of dollars. You could, if anybody's from that area and they remember that, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about that, but they were so inexpensive. And I remember her getting those boxes of scraps. Now at this point, you can finger press these because then you're going to continue to sew them into your block. And I'm just going down that with my fingernail. And then I'm going to take this one, and that's where I'll start that block. And you could, I mean, this is so quick. You only need 4 sets of these to make this block. Now you do need to sew it with a scant, a really close 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So we'll just sew this one over here together, and I'll show you the block. And it's very accurate. There won't be hardly anything for you to trim off when you're finished with this. And so when you make 4 of these, like I said, you're going to set them together. Like if you follow your pattern, you could put one will go this way, the next one will come this way with the white being toward the center, like that. And then the next 2, just like on here, they will be opposite. This one will be going up and down, and this one will come sideways. And you'll just sew those 4 big patches together, and that will make your block. These, like I said, they're very accurate. They're going to finish out at a 12-inch square. And if you can see, here's the 1, here's the 13, and here's the 12 over here. When I lay this down and put my 12-inch, 12.5-inch block on it and center it up, there's not going to be much to trim off on any of the sides. So for the month of February, then, you're going to make 2 of these. And if you're looking to just have a little bit of sewing time to yourself, and you want to do this and you want to make something quick, boy, this is quick. I've already made my 2, and I may even start sewing some of my other scrappy pieces together and make some of these blocks that I can set together really quick later to make another quilt. It was kind of an epiphany for me when I started watching videos and learning from other people that everything we make doesn't have to fit our queen size bed. It can be small. It can be something just to use on your sofa. It can be just maybe a bigger throw that you want to leave in the back of your car and use it for a picnic blanket when you take the kids out to the park. Everything doesn't have to be queen size. So that was sort of an epiphany for me. So I hope that you will grab your scrappy stash or some prints that you have, and that you'll enjoy making your 2 little rail fence blocks for the month of February. So until the next time, if you like my videos, I would appreciate you giving me a thumbs up, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.